Adolf Hitler's Nazis were cruel people. There is no doubt about that. But did you know that some of the brands that we use today have deep links with the Nazis? Fanta was invented by Coca-Cola in Nazi Germany to avoid heavy embargoes on import of Coke during the Second World War. Automaker Volkswagen was preceded by a project that was carried out directly under Adolf Hitler's watch. And yes, Hugo Boss, who founded the famous fashion house Hugo Boss AG, was an active Nazi member himself. But there is no need to blame these businesses. After all, businesses will do their job and keep investing wherever they see an opportunity to earn. You cannot expect businesses to boycott authoritarian regimes out of their ignorance or their indifference towards human rights abuses. It is we, the consumers, who have to communicate that we don't associate with anyone of anything who deals with authoritarian regimes. And this is exactly what is happening with the Beijing Winter Olympics. Hi and welcome. You're watching TFI Global, the foreign affairs and geopolitical analysis arm of the TFI Media Group. I'm your host Atul Mishra, and in this video I will give it to you in detail the reasons behind the record loss incurred by China following a dip in viewership for the inaugural Winter Olympics ceremony. Let's begin. Beijing Winter Olympics will go down in history as the moment of reckoning for Xi Jinping's murderous CCP regime. And how does the authoritarian regime go down? Businesses and sponsors realize that people will punish them for associating with Beijing. Beijing Winter Olympics sponsors are all set to record heavy losses. Why? Well, no one is watching the Beijing Winter Olympics. Why do sponsors pump money into international sporting events? So that they come into limelight when sports enthusiasts watch it on their TV sets and mobile phones all over the world, right? But if gaining limelight was the goal, the sponsors are in for a huge shock. People are not watching the Beijing Winter Olympics. It was a record low for the opening ceremony in the US. Viewership for the opening ceremony on Friday averaged just 16 million, beating the previous low of 20.1 million for the 1988 edition in Calgary, and this is a huge decline of 43% as against the 2018 games in South Korea. Governments enforce only a diplomatic boycott, and they couldn't stop businesses from sponsoring the games either. But people across the world are looking to boycott the Beijing Winter Olympics. There is a palpable lot of anger on social media. Meghan McCain, for example, said, "I will not watch 1 minute of Beijing 2022, adding the hashtag genocide games." She shared an image designed by Chinese artist Badia Chow that shows an ice hockey player in Chinese flag with blood on his stick and mask while knocking over a Tibetan monk. But the trend goes beyond the United States of America. In neighboring Canada, 47% of 1,000 respondents in a survey said they will make a conscious effort to refrain from watching the Beijing Winter Olympics. The adverse sentiment has gone up since December 2021. Meanwhile, social media is full of adverse sentiment against the Beijing Winter Olympics. Genocide Games is trending on Twitter with posts like the image of an athlete in Chinese flag shooting a blindfolded Uyghur. And hashtag No Beijing 2022 has been trending on social media since August last year. The hashtag No Beijing 2022 website states at least 2 million Uyghur, Kazakh and Uzbek Muslims are undergoing torture, rape and political re-education. It also states 80% of Tibetan children as young as 4 are forced away from their parents and housed in China's colonial boarding schools. Cut off from their families, they face intense political indoctrination. And it also mentions Chinese bullying of Taiwan and aggression in the South China Sea and India-Tibet border. If there were people who were going to watch the Beijing Winter Olympics, Chinese propaganda during the opening ceremony is bound to drive them away. There was a lot of toxic propaganda at display. The ceremony ended with use of cross-country skier Dinigye Yilamujiang as one of the cauldron lighters. The Chinese state media proudly says that Yilamujiang has a Uyghur heritage only after killing, raping and torturing millions of Uyghurs. China used the opening ceremony as a platform for its toxic political agenda. And if this wasn't enough, International Olympic Committee President Thomas Bach's speech should do the trick. There was so much of praising and China and Chinese friends that his speech surprisingly sounded more like an address to a CCP gathering. If someone was still going to watch the games, the Chinese political propaganda and Bach's speech should do the trick. But as the Winter Olympics viewership takes a hit, it is the sponsors who will have to suffer. This sends across a loud and clear message. Those who sponsor China will have to face the wrath of China haters all around the world. And by China, we strictly mean the CCP.